shop and he says that his era of hip hop was the hardest era of hip hop. I thought that was a simply good statement. I didn't think it was causing this much controversy as it did.
He didn't lie.
He didn't lie. Nothing was said. Look, only dudes moving units is M Pimp Juice and Nuts. There's a reason that statement was said. It wasn't said just because Jay needed an extra line.
Hey, she's not wrong.
Like, that's it. I mean, at that time, the only people that were pushing music or were moving units like that were Eminem, Nelly.
And you still got Cash Money.
And that's it. And then even, so it's what I just read. So the recording industry, the RIAA, whatever, they ranked him the 4th best-selling hip-hop artist in American music history. And that was in 2014. And that was behind Jay-Z, Eminem, and Tupac. So this is one of
it's just a different time. Because think about the having to physically get in your vehicle or ask your parents to take you somewhere to get an album. When certain albums drop, I remember going to Walmart. Y'all remember Walmart was 24 hours? And
absolutely.
They were stocking the shelves at midnight, putting shit out. So you physically, like, the fact that Nelly has gone diamond, we don't talk about that enough. Like, you know how many units you have to move in order to go diamond? And people want to piss on Nelly's name all the time. I'd be ready to fight.
Yeah, it's like this, right? We can argue like, oh, Nelly wasn't the greatest lyricist of all time. I'm not putting him in that top 10. But what I am not going to do is sit here and pretend like this man did not dominate for a couple of years, right? Like Country Grammar comes out, right? Then Nellyville comes out. I mean, like it's
Country Grammar, then Saint Lunatics album.
Like Nelly was everywhere. He was at the Super Bowl with Aerosmith doing Rock This Way. Like he was at the Rock and Jock Bebop. Like he was everywhere. And
he was everywhere.
Like that didn't happen is insane to me.
And keep in mind, Nelly was able to do this in the heart of like downloading, in the heart of like bootlegging was at an all-time high at that time.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't just get a single. Kids get just listening to one song. You can go buy a cassette single, a CD single. That was it.
Maxi single.
Go buy it.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, no, it'd be the maxi singles though.
You purchase it. Like you still had to go physically go get it. There was no let me go online and go find it and I can listen to it immediately. No. Right. You might have to wait till Friday till you got paid or your mama got paid to go get what you got to go get. Like it wasn't, there was no instant downloading or listening to music. So you had to go. And if like, let's say if your grandma only had one good hit, I stuck with the whole album.
What was that store where you could listen to Blockbuster Music?
Blockbuster Music.
Blockbuster Music.
You can do it there too.
Yeah, I want to say it's another store that used to let you do it.
You can listen to Street Side too.
The Street Side,
yeah. Warehouse.
I mean, just think about how many people he had to go against in that era. Like, this is like the era of the 80s in basketball, where like everybody was like a killer.
Yeah,
like,
so you mentioned DMX, Jay, M, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Luda. All of that was happening 99, 2000. And he left off people. He
left off people. Was still coming out.
He left off people. He just was naming those solo art, like just that, like bam, 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 off the top of his head, and like that's like that top tier. But like I said, we forget Cash Money took over for the 99 and the 2000.
And then you still got your legendary. You still got LL still rapping. Scarface,
Outkast.
Yeah, because what Stank On You came out 2000, 99? 2000.
Yeah.
So he had a ridiculous amount of competition at that time. And he's like, it's simply what he said was, we were all fighting to be number one. We were all fighting for that one spot. And they weren't.
And you know who we remember? Nelly.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, Snoop. Remember, Snoop was like it was an old man out there doing his thing still too with the Neptunes at that same time.
He came back with Beautiful.
Yeah, he
Beautiful. Dropping like this high.
Brought him back in.
Dropping like this high was what 04.
Attribute that to like a little later when we get like.
So, but I don't.
It's a little later.
Yeah,
But like at
I'm
the
with,
height of Nelly's career,
yeah,
it was
I'm
Nelly.
with
And
Dom.
I think for us being in St. Louis and being so like immersed into the Nelly culture, the Nellyville, if you will. I didn't. I was much younger than y'all, so I was in middle school when Nelly dropped, and so ultimately, not really
Damn.
understanding
Wait a minute, I
his.
don't like that. I don't like that. Who invited you?
Wow.
I didn't age
What?
anybody. I didn't say I was. I said I'm a little younger,
You just said she was a
but
little young.
not drastically. You know,
You
but
were in middle school.
Yeah, Nelly dropped. I was in middle school.
Why was you in parties? Wait a minute.
Listen, we're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. When you
Oh
know
my
the
God.
plug, that is why it's important for you to know the plug. Don't forget when you was taking grad classes at Webster, I was in undergrad.
I wasn't
And,
at Webster.
I don't know your real
I
age
didn't
because
go to school at Webster.
Ohio State.
At
So
this
ultimately,
point, Sleepy,
Dom,
I'm gonna have to ask to see some credentials because
I didn't go to Webster at all.
okay. So when you were recruiting at Webster, I was in undergrad. But
I
again,
was
now
dating somebody at Webster. I was just dating somebody, just dating.
That's
Oh,
why he
see, I
was up
thought
there.
you was recruiting, for
you was
your
recruiting
fraternity.
something.
I didn't know. You was there. Okay, you was there. That's why I synced you. So ultimately, I don't think I understood, and we didn't really understand the Nelly, like Nelly kind of taking over globally. And I didn't really catch it until I went to Vegas. I went to Vegas randomly, and they used to have that day party at the Hard Rock. And Nelly and the Lunatics, like they performed. It was like right when his brother got out. So it's like all of them niggas, yeah. And so it's just like it. I mean, the magnitude. It was thousands of people. No, all the work. I didn't know. My guy was like, yeah, we was walking vocal, wearing the band-aid under our eye. I was like, in LA? I was like,
No,
wow.
this is the thing, Dom. I don't know if it's Sleepy. When you were at that party at St. Louis University at the Bush Center, and they played when Country Grammar first came out, like spring break, I came back home.
I was there.
That's what I'm saying. I know you were there. And they played it 10 times in a row. No, I'm for real.
Really?
And it was like, and I'm talking about, and people were on it. I'm talking about, it was, I'd never seen an energy like that like in St. Louis. Because previously we didn't have anybody to really hang our hat on from St. Louis. So people, it was only Country Grammar at the time. Because the original was called Hot Shit. That was the original name of it. And I'm talking about they played it 10 times in a row. You remember that, Sleepy? They played like 10 times in a row.
Bro, we pledged not too long after, and we would go on road trips. We wouldn't even take real clothes with us. We just take Alpha Gear and St. Louis hats and just get all the love. Nelly put St. Louis just on the map, period, dog. It was a time to be alive.
Do you know how many women were messing with St. Louis men because of strictly off of Nelly?
Off of Nelly.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I tried to stop.
So Nelly got pussy.
Based strictly on it.
Hey, I ain't saying he did. I ain't saying he didn't, but I definitely dap Nelly up if I saw him. He good with me.
Oh my gosh.
If I got to pick a side, I'm Team Nelly over Ali all day.
Of course.
For sure.
And look, and shout out to Javon that tells that story about how Nelly and them they were standing outside the Kappa house after a Kappa party. And
I was there.
Yeah, and Javon and they were like, yeah, we finna leave. And Javon goes, I'm gonna go ride with Murph and act like he was with them.
I was at that party. They were outside the Kappa house. My best friend Samantha was absolutely in love with Nelly, and so she's small, she's like 5'1", so she's trying to get through the crowd to get to him. Well, Stacy 5'9" and had some weight on her. We get through.
Oh my God!
I'm getting happens out the way. She right behind me and everything. So essentially, right, like she the running back, and I'm just bam, bam, knock people out. And so she gets close enough to him, and then I yell out, Nelly. And he looks at me and I'm like, right there. And he looks at Samantha and he waves to her. And that's the story.
That's awesome. And Nell put other people on, even if he wasn't rocking with them. We had Chingy, we had Jaquan. Like St. Louis was just a buzz. Like
Huey had Lorraine.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Jibs, Toya,
Pretty Willie,
Pretty
Suella.
Yo, and I didn't know that many people knew Pretty Willie. Like my whole
Will good people.
That part.
Was like when they put him on streaming, and I was like, that this made it past St. Louis.
Yes,
Walls.
He on the Bad Company soundtrack. He on the real soundtrack.
People love that song, These Four Walls. Like,
that's a good song. I
wasn't a fan, but like,
isn't Lay Your Body Down on the soundtrack?
Lay Your Body Down.
It is. It's
Lay Your Body
on
Down.
The African Reunion soundtrack.
Lay Your Body Down is.
Yeah, it's like I know I've seen this playing. Yeah,
that's awesome. Shout out to Will.
Y'all ain't gonna hate on Nelly. Look, y'all ain't gonna hate on Nelly. We protect Nelly in our city. That's for sure. Because that people don't understand how popping St. Louis was for at least 10 to 12 years because of Nelly. Like seriously.
Definitely a decade, bro. Definitely a hot decade.
I understand that going to SEMO in 2000 was a thing. Like, so as soon as you get there and people are like, are you from St. Louis? Yep. You know Nelly? No.
Oh, somebody said she got a man at home.
It's like, so it's like, you know Nelly?
Yep, she got him. Hey.
You knew him or you didn't, or it was a couple of people that was at school that was in the Country Grammar video. Just
like, yeah, that's my people.
Right. And then like I think after I left, like what 0203, Murphy Lee started going there. Like, so like
St. Louis gonna ride. We're gonna ride for Nelly.
Hold on.
She got a man at home, y'all. That's Pretty Willie's
in
best
the comments
song.
is saying Nelly was okay. Well, we're not gonna do it.
Okay, all right.
We're not gonna do
Nelly was okay. Who is you?
How dare you?
Who is that?
We're not going to do that.
That's blasphemy right before 314 day. Blasphemy.
Really?
I think people. I think in certain ways, I think Miss St. Louis, including our music, is very misunderstood, and I think it's something that you have to come and you have to know somebody in St. Louis, because don't just pull up. I think that in order for you to understand St. Louis, you kind of really got to immerse yourself in the city and what's going on. And I don't mean go to Midtown like they doing that.
We ain't no Midtown.
It ain't no Midtown. It's like
St. Louis is a city. You got to know somebody. You got to know somebody in the city. You just can't pop up in St. Louis and be like, I'm going out.
Right. And
Atlanta.
Understand, because it took me to move away from St. Louis to really appreciate and understand St. Louis. And so now I have like this new love for St. Louis that wasn't there. I was like, well, I can't wait to get about this motherfucker. But once I was gone, it was different. And so I think that's not fair to say that Nelly was okay. And let's get it. Some people say Beyonce is okay. And that's fine. Everybody has their own opinion. But to discredit him and take away what he has done in music, we're not going to do that. We're not going to negate that. And I felt that the collaboration with him and Budweiser was long overdue. He's been in this game for so long, and it took this entire. How y'all put Big Sean on a Budweiser can before y'all put Nelly?
Big Sean was on the can?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got the.
All right.
I mean, it's InBev now, though, Don. It's InBev now, so I mean, it's not really St. Louis based.
Hey, man, Nelly and the Chicks had everybody wearing Air Force Ones. Like the price went up because of them.
On the internet about somebody was like that. We know the Air Force Ones existed before Nelly dropped, but the hype around them absolutely increased once he was wearing them and came up with the song.
Right. And then New York people get mad, especially
New York folks they're Soldier Boy. They believe that everything started with them.
They are Soldier Boy.
They are absolutely Soldier Boy. Like New York is an entire state of Soldier Boys who absolutely.
They call them uptowns. They call them uptowns in New York.
Right, exactly. Like, and that's fine. That's great. But let's quit pretending that y'all were really out here wearing Air Force Ones at that time like that. You may have had a pair, you may have had a pair before. Somebody else might have had them, but back in the day, we used to buddies. People wasn't wearing Air Force Ones for real.
I knew a New York cats wearing Timbs and Wallabies and bullshit like that.
Whatever, right? Like, quit pretending like you were out here wearing them Air Force Ones. We all know that you were wearing Timbs in the summertime. Stop
your boots.
Stop it. Stop
long
it.
shorts.
Right. I didn't even know Timbs made flip flops, but y'all got them on. So, like, let's chill out. Like, quit pretending. Like, y'all didn't start everything. Everything did not start with y'all. Let it go.
I mean, so what do you all think? I guess the legacy of Nelly, as we wrap up this topic, the legacy of Nelly, like going forward, like what do we think? Like, what is his legacy in 10, 15 years? Are we, will it be forgotten, or will he be, Because let me wrap that into a full statement with this. So I was listening to when Slepy and them had a viral clip go off about Ali recently on Just Posted. And it'll show like where you being referred from. So I went to go look at some other clip, and it was somebody younger, and they were like, all they know is Nelly, and they look like that's like the dude. Like they don't even care about all the beef that we know about within the St. Louis' older folks. They like, we don't care about no Ali. I was in kindergarten when Nelly came out. That's what I know.
That's how old Dom was.
Yeah.
I thought I was on mute. I'm sorry.
But no, every time Don come on the podcast, she make me feel real old. I'd be like, damn, really? You was in what school?
Like, yeah, that did. First off, Dom,
like,
I love
you. Did me like you. It was. I was like, I'm gonna laugh a little bit, but it's cool. You got me.
Like, I absolutely love you. But when you just like, but
somebody brought up a good comment here. Hold on, we forgot to get into the country.
I was gonna get there. I wasn't wrapping up. We was gonna keep talking.
The country.
I think the interesting thing about Nelly is that like Nelly has transcended across genres like so smoothly and effortlessly, like and seamlessly, right? Like we get that intro on Sweatsuit, and he has to collab with who was Faith Hill husband or ex-husband now? But over
Tim
and
McGraw.
over.
Tim McGraw.
Yeah, Tim
McGraw.
He was married to Faith Hill.
Oh yeah, they were. Let me say this. That was the Jay-Z and Beyonce for me, the country music.
Yeah,
that's who that was. Like that was the power couple.
Listen, here's the thing. Here's the
Jay-Z and Beyonce of country.
Yeah,
they really were.
That's not that's not a crazy statement to make. That's actually not a crazy statement to make. I'm not off.
And so, the interesting thing about even now, when it comes to, Beyonce crossing over into, more into country now, people are remembering that Nelly did that. Like Nelly did had a lot of firsts.
He has a straight up country album. He has a real country album.
He has a country album. He's been touring with those artists for a long time. So he's really, touched on his Houston roots and immersed himself in the culture of country music. And ultimately, I think it's funny because like now people are going back and listening. Oh, I didn't know it was this many Black country artists because, Beyonce has shined the light. So now you're about to see a lot of people kind of jump to the forefront and take advantage of, people discovering them. But I mean, Nelly is that dude. And I think why people try to play in Nelly's face is a lot about, I don't know if it's our age bracket that is like, oh, well, he had this problem or he had that problem. And so they try to deflect and take away from it as
damn.
Didn't start a whole generation.
Who is this? Hey, wait a minute, dog.
No.
I ignored it.
I'm not, but I'm not.
I saw it.
But I'm not going to ignore it.
Are you from St. Louis? Who's saying this? Where you from?
What were they sipping? It's like Down Down Baby is a nursery rhyme. It is, and he made it into a hit song. Okay.
Tell them.
Like, please understand, right? Okay, they made Down Down Baby might have done Sesame Street numbers, but it didn't go diamond. So while you were sitting there on the internet typing with those knobbled thumbs, what I need you to do is calm down, take it down a notch. I know that you're upset because we're talking about something that you could never do.
100%.
Right? I know that upsets you, and it's all right. It's all right.
Well, all right then.
I think that might be Ali. I wonder if that's Ali's family member. I know that's
that might be Ali.
It might be Ali.
It might be Ali.
I just for Nelly's influence, you can say that Nelly inspired and influenced Drake. You know, with the rapping and the singing.
Drake took from everybody.
Drake's still from everybody. Hey,
so ultimately,
Ja Rule, 50 Cent, everybody's singing and rapping.
Everybody was doing that afterwards, and I know some people are like, "Oh, you got LL." I said that's one thing, but you don't have the same, you don't have that swag of that country grammar on it. He really made that a thing, and I get in arguments with people about that. I said, okay, if we want to talk about Drake and allow him to enter the chat, we also have to recognize that he also drew. We're going to say inspiration. I'm not going to say take today.
Boy, that boy be pilfering. He pilfer styles. Quit playing.
I mean, hey, you know, everybody want to look. Now he want to look like Smino. So, I mean, hey, whatever.
Nah, with the hair.
I like his barrettes.
I like Smino's barrette first. I like that's Smino's style, like that emo.
Hey, this cool ass Scott from the I Love 90s Music Podcast. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like it on the SOLC network. You finna get all the real deal on the 90s, the 2000s, and the splash of that 80s. Do it right now, man, and I'll be your friend.